Totally appropriate.
Yeah, might get some dates.
Yeah.
Cami, what you got for us?
Yeah.
All right, let's hear it.
Okay, so I'm really lucky to have a very open-minded sister who let me steal her child for a week. And most of the time he was with us in our outdoor survival school, you know, so we were teaching him skills and stuff. So we just stayed up in the mountains in a beautiful spot, redwoods and everything. But on his last night, I wanted to take him to the airport. He had, I think it was a morning flight, and I just wanted to be close to the airport, so we went and stayed in a Safeway parking lot, which is hilarious that I'm with my nephew in a Safeway parking lot. Anyways, he was sleeping in the front seat because he was having allergies in the back for some reason. And so we're like sleeping there, and I wake up and there's these two cars full of teenagers, maybe around 18, 19, something like that. And they're just shrieking at each other. There's this girl and she's screaming and kicking his car. And then there's this guy, and he's doing that thing guys do sometimes where they're like, I'm gonna kill her. But he's kind of like holding back, like he's waiting for his friends to get there to hold him back. You know, he's like, come on guys. And then like grab his arms and hold him back. And this is going on for a while. And you know, I wasn't real scared. I mean, they were driving like BMWs or something. But my main concern was I don't want my poor little nephew to be terrified. And I don't want him hearing.
Go back to mom and say, hey mom, guess what happened? And you're like never allowed to take him out again.
Well, I don't think I told her yet, but my sister's pretty chill. But my brother-in-law, if you watch this, I'm sorry. So he's still sleeping, and I'm like, and then I start to get concerned because things are getting more riled up, and this girl was obnoxious. But I still don't want to see, she was real small and the guy was real big, and I was like, crap, am I gonna have to go out there with a mace or something, or just drive towards them? Like I thought maybe I could just drive towards them and then shout out the window, hey, I already called the police, you guys better split, or something to just break it up, because it was starting to get more serious. But the problem was that my sleeping nephew was in the front seat with his feet where the driver's seat was. So finally he did wake up because it got really, really loud. And I'd been thinking, like, what am I going to say to him? Because I don't want him to be terrified. Yeah. And so I was like, Jessa, that's Boom. You like him. Cap, come here. Anyway.
Get him. Just kidding.
Anyway, so my nephew finally wakes up, and I just turn to him, I go, look at these funny rich kids fighting. And he looks over, he's like, huh? And I go, look at them just fighting up a storm. What do you guys have to fight about? You're driving your BMW. So I'm just giving it, like, just making it funny. I'm like, look at her, like, blah, blah. And my nephew's like, that is funny. And so I'm like, you know what? Why don't you scoot over and we'll drive away? And so I got in the driver's seat and I just shouted out the window, hey, I called the cops already. You guys better split. And then we just found another spot to, yeah. And it worked out perfect. But it was funny. I mean, if it was just me, I wouldn't have cared, but I was worried about my nephew. He took it in stride because he's a great kid.
He's a really good kid.
Yeah.
I cannot think of a funny story. My life is funny.
She's a funny girl.
Can you think of a funny story in my life?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of one.
I'm
sure about pertussis and everything. That was kind of funny.
Oh yeah, so whooping cough is a communicable disease, and in adults it's called pertussis, and I contracted that in Fiji, and so here I am in my car. Like when people get pertussis, they cough so hard that they vomit, they crack ribs, they pee their pants, they get hernias or hemorrhoids. Like it's just gnarly.
And you've had it. You've got it.
No, I had it in June. The bug is long since dead. This is the aftermath that continues for 6 months to like.
And I was terrified she was going to give it to me.
Yeah, so I had to quarantine. I couldn't go anywhere. So, and also I showed up to California to work. Couldn't work, obviously, because I have a communicable disease. And so I'm living in my car, just like, you know, sleeping in my car and isolated to my car pretty much, and just like hacking up my lungs, you know, just like the most, like, you stop breathing sometimes, like crazy cough. I don't know why it's not that hilarious. But
so how bad did it get? Did you have a little pee pants? Did you have a little?
You know,
she sounded so bad. Sometimes I just thought she was gonna die, and I wasn't there for the worst of it.
It was awful, but yeah. So I did not ever crack any ribs. I did not ever vomit. I didn't get any hernias or hemorrhoids, but I did pee my pants.
You're gonna have that.
I did cough so hard that I peed my pants. I told you guys about that. I was like, so I'm peeing my pants. And I'd cough and they'd be like, did you pee your pants? And I'd be like, yes, I did. I did pee my pants a little on that one. But I just think I just think it's really funny. One thing I think is funny about this life is just explaining it to people. You know? Just like, or when people are like, "Oh, where are you from?" and I'm like, "Well, I grew up in Memphis, but currently I'm nomadic." "Oh, but like, where do you live?" "Well, I'm traveling." Like, well, but like, where are you based?
That's what I
my
say.
car.
I'm traveling. Oh,
Right.
what's
Like,
your,
my
what's
license
your
plate is my address.
Yeah,
What's your destination? Where are you headed? I get that a lot
Whatever's
too.
cool.
In parking lots, whatever, people see my car. "Oh, where are you heading to?" Or, "Oh, are you moving? Are you traveling?" You know, so just the conversations and just like how many times you have to tell people before they understand like that you actually don't have a home and it's actually okay. Kids are funny too. Who was it the other day? I was talking to my friend's kids and to Lizzie's kids, and she was like, "You're joking me.
Yeah.
You do have a home. You do live somewhere. I know that you're joking me." So.
And that's part of this is I want to show my nephews and my niece that, I mean, I don't know if they'll be like me, but when I was a kid, the very word mortgage, I didn't even know what it meant, but it depressed me.
Yeah.
And I just want to show them, hey, dude,
Think
there's
outside
a
of the
different
box.
way to live,
Yeah.
and you can be happy.
You have alternatives.
My little nephew at the end of that trip, he's like, Cami, I think it's cool that you live in your van.
Yeah.
He's like, but when I grow up, I want a Ferrari and some other kind of car. So I think I'm gonna have to have a job.
Both and still
I
live
was
in a
like,
van.
okay, well,
And a house, by the way.
And a
didn't convert you, but maybe next time.
Right.
You know, it's funny, like, there are times, like, when I had pertussis, when I even posted on social media, I was like, so usually I love my independent, you know, free-spirited, single, you know, nomadic gypsy lifestyle. But right at this moment, I want a house, I want a husband, I want some money, I want a shower. At this very moment, I want the American dream, I want it all, and I quit and I give up, you know. But then, of course, it passes, you feel better, and you're like, psych.
Yeah. Just kidding.
Yeah.
The last time I got sick was last summer, and I had people around, but I got really bad, like a 24 or 48-hour flu.
Oof.
You know, where you can't stop moving because your whole body is in pain.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I had that, and oh my gosh,
Miserable.
it's just so bad.
Yeah.
But I'd have been miserable anything else. So what I do is I keep I don't know if this is worth anything to you guys, but I keep a couple cans of Campbell's Chicken and Stars because I can pour it into a cup like that and drink it if you're sick.
Yeah.
You know, you like pour it in there and pour some water in it, shake it up a little bit, and the stars are so small.
That's important.
We get resourceful, don't we?
Yeah.
You get so creative. Necessity is the mother of invention.
Yeah.
It's so true. Like when you don't have all the conveniences of modern life, you get resourceful like our ancestors were. You come up with low-tech technology. You come up with, you know, hacks and with little alternatives and little fixes and stuff.
I thought of another funny
And
story.
everything has more than one use.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Everything has
Oh, yeah, you got it.
Let's hear it, Cami.
Okay, this is Tamra and I with my nephew. We were staying at her friend's house just for a night so we could get that kid a shower. He didn't shower the whole week. He was with me.
And
I
little
didn't want to
boys
put him on the
smell
plane.
like dirt at the end of a week.
He didn't smell too bad, but yeah, so anyways, we're staying with Tamra's friend, and at some point we'd slept there and everything, and he goes, you know, if you need a place to stay, I'm sure to him I'm like, this aunt with my nephew living in a van, like what is going on? He goes, if you need a place to stay, you can always come here. And
my
Tam
friends
looks
do.
at me and she just gets this big twinkly grin with his
We found a home.
She's laughing so hard, and he's kind of looking like, okay. I'm like, yay, we can stay forever. It was every time I think about it, it's funny,
awesome.
but it's never as funny when I tell it.
No, I think it is funny because, you know, it's also
Like we're
funny
these
when
little
kids.
street urchins or something.
That's awesome.
I also think it's funny when kids feel like it's their house to offer.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
I haven't had that yet, but I'm sure it's
stay
gonna
with
happen.
us.
This was
I get
he's
that
my
from
friend.
my
He's an
godkids.
adult. He was offering, but
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Like my cousin the other day, his kids are like, my dad can fix that for you.
Aw,
Yeah, like you can do this.
Oh, yeah, and that's the other thing, and maybe this is one of the benefits of being a woman too, but I've got a list a mile long of people to just love and thank.
Me too.
Vic Macy for the van. You were there for me when
Yes.
I had nothing else, and I'm so grateful to the whole Macy family. My uncle TJ, who's a genius and just helps me. He's so patient. He laughs at me a lot when I get things wrong, but he's taught me so much. My dad who makes things, my neighbors across the street, Clint, Nan, Mackenzie, and Allie. I love you guys. Braden too. Just people just come out of the woodwork and will help you.
And the thing is, we could do this without help.
Yeah.
But what a blessing that we get help.
It's fantastic. People are so kind. We really get the opportunity to see the best side of humanity out there.
Really do.
If I was never offered, you know, a couch or a shower or whatever, I could still do this and I could still be quite happy. But like, what a nice, how nice is that when you get those things, you know, when people say, and that's, to me, that's anything you have to bless others, you know, like,
Right.
Yeah.
and so, and the little that I have, I try to do that. It's so funny, like people ask for money. I'm homeless and unemployed, you know what I mean? Like,
I love that.
but I
keep
don't.
a bag of change.
Yeah,
though.
I don't work, but I'll be like,
some
I got
food.
some Cliff Bars, you know what I mean, or whatever.
Right.
So, what the
I got
thing is,
leftovers from
if you're an
last
American,
night.
you're in abundance. You know, like even us, we're in abundance. We're safer than so many people in the world. We have so many fewer concerns. We have access to safe water.
Yeah.
We all have surplus. We all have abundance. We all have something to give. My life, I mean, I am, you know, on paper, I am I am far broker than the average American.
But no debt.
But I
We're not
know-
actually broker because we don't have debt.
That's exactly right. I'm way more rich than a lot of people who are living high on the hog because I have no debt. However, what was my point? I'm not exempt from charity. You know, I'm not in poverty. I don't feel poverty stricken. You know, and I still
it's not.
I'm below the poverty level on paper for sure, but I don't. You know,
But
I
it's
don't
not
identify with
But you're
poverty.
so much
abject
richer
poverty.
in
So-
life.
Yeah.
So the difference between poverty and abject poverty, are you familiar with that? So the word abject means hopeless.
Okay, yeah.
So it's not abject
No.
poverty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like navigating through life this way, and
too.
I go to the mission a lot in Cottonwood. I go there for showers, or I'll go there for meals.
Yeah.
And you know, it's
And you
not,
can volunteer at those places too when you
can
use their
volunteer.
services. Yeah.
I've brought things to them like
Yeah,
sleeping bags that they turn
totally.
around and
Yeah.
recycle out.
Yeah.
Or did you want to say anything to anybody that might be watching, Teshia? Any kind of a shout out to anybody, or
If this is a lifestyle you've never done before and you were raised in a middle class home, it might be something you would see it from the outside perspective, and those people have a tendency to romanticize the lifestyle. Don't romanticize it. There's so many people that I've seen, like just on YouTube, that are like, oh, I'm going to do this. I've been wanting to do it for years. I've seen everybody else do it. They go into it, and 5 months later, they're like, I can't handle this, and go back out. And I think that it's largely because they don't see it as, like, they lift it up as something grand, which, I mean, it is grand.
Yeah.
But nothing's ever as cool
But
or sexy
it's-
when you're
yeah.
actually doing it.
Yeah, it
as when
doesn't-
you're
it looks
watching
better
someone
on
else's
Instagram.
YouTube video.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But they'll say RV lifers and, you know, the full-timers and Vanlife, and you've got all of those tag words and whatnot, and they put those on a pedestal, but they forget that that's still, it's all under kind of the group of the homelessness experience. So even though we have homes, we still deal with a lot of issues that people who are homeless have to deal with. And a lot of people who come from a more plentiful background don't always know how to handle that. I grew up in poverty, and this is the richest time of my life, you know. But if you grow up in plenty and you come into this lifestyle without having at least first researched the problems that come along with being homeless, the extra difficulties, the difficulties finding jobs, or the fact that if you don't have a home address, you may not be able to vote. You know, things like that. And so do a lot of that research. Talk to people who are homeless and get as much information, direct word of mouth as you can, because that's if you go into this thinking, I'm just going to go off and have an adventure, you're not going to do it for very long. You know, it's a lifestyle, and it's a life choice.
expectation is the
just an
enemy of
adventure.
happiness,
Yes,
right? Yeah.
totally.
So if you're like, every
That's
day
why-
is gonna be amazing. No, it's a life, you know?
Yeah.
You have your ups and downs, and that's more based on your mood than what's happening externally, but I definitely have more ups this way than
Yeah.
I would otherwise,
Yeah,
so.
exactly.
And fewer downs, I think, too.
Yeah. So too.
I think my message is get free, whatever it means. Get a little bit freer than what you are right now. Don't do exactly what I'm doing if you don't feel called to it. Do it if you do. If this is something you've always, whatever it is that you've always been like, oh, I wish I could do that. I wish I could have that life, but I've got this blank that keeps me back. Get free of that thing. That debt, not if it's your children or something like that. Bring them
Right.
along. You know,
Exactly.
and
There are people who
but
do this with kids.
there are.
Yeah.
Don't accept limitations. A drunken friend gave me a speech recently that really has stayed in my head. Don't accept limitations. If you've got a family, my sister took her 4 kids out of school, bought an RV, and traveled for like, I don't know how many months. You traveled around the United States of America. You know, if you're miserable in your work, but you feel like you need to continue to have a conventional lifestyle, just find a job that I know it's not that easy, but find some kind of way to get free. Get out of debt, break your addictions.
And
You know,
start
that's
now.
a slavery, whatever your dependencies are. And that's not substances. It wasn't substances for me, but they were real addictions, real dependencies. I didn't need any of it. Get an experience that breaks your paradigm and where you can recognize that you don't need it. Don't let it own you. You can have it, but if it owns you, get rid of it. You know, if you feel like you need it, then run away from it. And all you need is provided in the earth and the people around you. And don't think you're not that kind of person. Whatever kind of person you are, whatever you feel drawn to, you're that kind of person. And you don't have to grow out your armpit hair to live in a vehicle if you don't want to.
Right?
You know, you don't, you know, you can still smell good and look pretty if you want. And you don't have to change your image or identify in a different way than you want to. Just live the life you want. Get free.
Yeah. I like that.
I agree.
Yeah.
Good message. Well, thank you, all you guys, for sitting down and doing this with me today. I think there's going to be a lot of benefit from it
Yeah.
as it goes out into the ether.
Yeah. I think one more thing too, gratitude.
Yeah.
You know, be grateful.
that's
Because the
it.
thing
We
is,
attract
like,
it.
everything
We attract it.
it's so true. If you really train yourself in the habit of gratitude
Yes.
and thought habits
And
of
not
gratitude,
being afraid to say thank you. Instead of, like, people will give you a compliment and, oh, no, I'm not. You know, my sister does that a lot. Oh, I'm not beautiful. Or,
but just
I'm,
recognize that
but
you're blessed, whatever
when you
your
start
situation
saying
is.
thank you, you start accepting those kinds of things, and that builds you up.
Yeah, but
And
if you're
that
grateful
builds
for what you have, even if it's next to nothing, if you're grateful for your toothbrush, you're gonna be a happy person.
Yep.
You know what I mean? If you're grateful for the clean water in your canteen, then you're gonna be a happy person. Don't focus on what you don't have.
Yeah.
You know, I used to have that gnawing, nagging, monkey on my back. I used to believe what the advertisers were telling me, that I didn't have enough. And there's an angst and this just discontent that follows you around. Don't focus on what you don't have. Don't focus on what it isn't, what your life isn't, just let it be enough. Be grateful for what you have. Let go of that addiction that you have to accumulate, that you have to climb that ladder, Just be grateful. Just find joy. I put my attention and I pray. When I pray, I tell God, don't let me miss seeing and recognizing a blessing, and let me find joy in all the things around me. Let me find joy in the vistas. Let me find joy in the breeze. Let me find joy in the people who I interact with, because it's there. But if you're so distracted with your stress of your life and these additional burdens that really it's not what sustains you, you're going to miss it. You're going to miss the joy. You're going to miss the enjoyment. You're going to miss the things that will fill your heart with gratitude.
Yeah.
Very good message to end with.
Yeah.
Well,
Thanks a lot, Tamra.
Thanks.
that was
And-
really long. I apologize. I didn't realize.
We can go.
We can just keep
sweat.
chatting
Look at
for the
that.
next 10 hours.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, I thought it was good. Thanks, Cami. Thanks, Teshia.
I might have to come back to you.
Another-
I'm not sure if I'm
Another
going to Denver,
nomadic
so.
hack, though, that I recently discovered is these open places to cook. You know what I mean? Like apartment complexes. Sometimes not even in a gate. Yeah, nice apartment. When I was just in
That's
San
where
Jose.
I sleep at the apartment.
In their pool area, and sometimes it's not even in a gate. They've got these stoves that you can that people use for
You're
barbecues and grilling out or whatever.
I live
That's a
here
great idea.
right
You can
now.
cook, totally.
My
or
home
parks
is
or
in your
whatever.
parking lot.
And like dumpster diving, you know, there's just so
I
many
love
little
dumpster
hacks.
diving.
Great.
The dumpster diving sounds really interesting
that's
to
fun.
video.
It's
Maybe a different day.
Yeah.
Maybe
we get
that
the
could be a whole
sirens. We're all
subject.
running.
I've never had the cops come.
Never. Yeah.
I
me
have.
neither.
I have.
Really?
I had a
In
security guard
Mesa.
check up on me once, but
In Mason, they
at
were.
Trader Joe's.
I think it was Walmart, and they were real nice about it. They were just
Walmart can
Hey,
box
you're
their
not
trash.
allowed to do this. Okay, then it wasn't. It was one of the bigger ones.
Ah.
This
Like
was
Target or
10
something?
years ago. I don't remember.
I have done Target. Maybe it was Target.
Yeah, maybe it was Target. But yeah, he was laughing. He's just like, you don't need to do this, do you? Like, thought we'd look a little more frazzled.
Yeah.
He's like, you're
Get
just
outta
doing this for fun.
here.
Yeah.
You probably have money
that is some
somewhere.
benefits.
I was
Somebody
just-
will take care
The
of
one
you.
time the security
Look,
guard, he kept driving around the back of the building, which they never usually did, and just every time he drove around, I would freeze exactly how I was and just look at him like this. Just being funny, you know? And then I would go back to my, to my
awesome.
rummaging, and then he would come back around again, and I'd be like,
like a sneaky
I would just
posture.
like freeze doing whatever I was doing and just like look at him like, if I don't move, he won't see me. He didn't mess with me. He was like, she's
hilarious.
funny.
She's funny. If you can get them laughing, that's
You're
the
really
way, man.
humor, yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Well, I think having all your teeth is kind of a dead giveaway that you
That
don't
helps
really need to be in the
That helps
dumpster.
too.
You had braces when you were a
Yeah,
kid.
seriously.
What's going on here?
Yeah.
Oh, you had braces. What are you doing here?
You don't act like you're on meth. Yeah.
I'm just looking for a contact.
Yeah.
You got a backpack full of food, and you're like, I'm just.
I did have my
phone.
phone fall out of my pocket once into
Yeah.
the bottom. You don't ever want to get to the bottom.
Yeah, the bottom's.
It can be
Nasty.
juicy sometimes.
Yeah, that's interesting. I would think that you'd want those yellow gloves that you wash dishes with or
No,
something.
it's not that dirty. I
not
mean,
that
it's
bad?
just
Yeah.
dirt. I mean, like I said, the bottom you want to avoid, but I never really interact
You never
with the
make it to the
What you do
bottom
is you just
anyway,
pull a
like-
bag out, you look through the bag, put the bag back, take what you want.
What was there's a country, I think France or Germany or something, where they're taking everything, all that food that's going to expire,
France.
and they
Yeah.
have to donate it.
Legally, they can't
just
give
That's
it.
can't-
amazing.
I mean, I have money generally for food, but it just does me in that we're throwing away so much food.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
horrible.
Starbucks just went over to a
Backwards.
policy where they can't throw it out anymore.
Really?
So yeah, they just went to a policy where they're giving it to the homeless
So
shelter.
what we need to do is go to Starbucks in town and say, hey, we've got this event. No one's making money off of it. We got a bunch of people out there who are nomadic.
we could
Yeah.
probably do that.
I was thinking
Yeah.
about it the other day when I was
Awesome.
in town, and
Or like a
because
bakery.
when I organize adoption events, we do that all the time. Go to bakeries or Starbucks and say, hey, can we have your end of day stuff? And we'll come pick it up when it's closed, or leave a bag out or whatever, and then bring it to camp, and everybody will be stoked on that.
Sounds awesome. We
Yeah.
could get all caffeined up on those little chocolate things. That,
Goodness.
What time does Starbucks close?
I don't know.
I don't know either, but I should check that out.
Well, I'm gonna go have lunch. Thanks, you guys.
Lunchtime.
Yeah.
I'm
hungry.
Jeez. How long did we talk? Seriously, did you even know?
I think I missed breakfast.
Maybe like 3 hours or something.
It's fun though.
Shit.
But it's fun. I don't think it was 3 hours, was it? But it's fun.
Might
You might have
2
to do
hours.
part 1, 2, and 3 or something.
Yeah.
That's-
I don't care. I listen to Joe Rogan
Plus
podcasts
there's
all the
things-
time.
Yeah,
Every 2.5,
yeah.
3 hours.
I'm such a podcast addict. I started with Joe Rogan, but
Well, and I, you
I
know,
had
like
my
while you're doing
phone.
stuff, you know, you can
Yeah.
listen to stuff.
Yeah, while you're doing something else, you're walking around through your day. You stop it, you turn it back on when you come back to being able to listen
Exactly. Yeah.
hike, leave, whatever.
I don't want to get off this couch in the shade.
more. I know you guys kind of have it made over here. Maybe we could get a pizza delivered or something.
I think my dog.
Jamie, will you take a picture of us?
Hungry to
Yeah,
stay.
yeah,
Yeah.